People, what is going on? AlexHillFX, Alex Hill. You guys know me. I would assume by now. If you don't, nice to meet you all. Let's get stuff popping. I assume Rag will be on in a second. Not 100% where he is, but we did talk about starting just before market open, so I'm sure he'll join at some stage. What I'll do now is share my screen. I think that's screen share anyway. Please can you let me know that you can see my screen as well? That would be helpful. Let me see if I can find the chat box. GoToWebinar is pretty new to me, so I usually use Zoom. Questions. Okay. Can you see my screen? Yay or nay? Okay, perfect. Okay, so GoToWebinar's so new to me, so my bad if it doesn't go as well as it should. So happy Sunday, happy start of NFP week. You guys know what it is. Non-farm payroll, for anyone that doesn't know about NFP, so it's non-farm payroll. What does non-farm payroll mean? So non-farm payroll is, of course, employment statistics every first Friday of the month for US data that comes out. 8:30 for those in the US, 1:30 if you're based in the UK. The time never changes. It's a pip fest. It is literally a pip fest, as Raquel says. It's so enjoyable to trade non-farm payroll if you just understand that it's probably priced into the market a few days before, because I'm a big believer in stuff like that news is priced in. Also, it's worth considering that over the next couple of days we'll probably see a big push for liquidity. Those liquidity pushes usually give us an insight as to where the market's probably going to go for non-farm payroll. Don't dabble with non-farm payroll if you don't understand it. If you don't understand news and you don't understand impact, then you're not missing out, and you're not any less of a trader for not trading non-farm payroll. Sorry. Let me just make sure. I'm going to message Rag as well, because obviously I want his opinion on a couple of things that I'm going to cover. Right. How do you unmute him? Or is he he is unmuted? Okay, right. He should be on. It looks like he's on anyway. 1 second, let me just grab my phone. Okay. So anyway, I can't remember what I was saying. Okay, yeah, non-farm payroll. It's a big week. It's a big-ass week. For me personally, this week I might not trade non-farm payroll this month, sorry, just because I'm going away for a few days on Wednesday evening. So whether I will have access to the internet, I don't know, because I'm going to like a seaside town in the UK, which is part of my family's new investment. So I'll be pretty much, painting, decorating, doing a bit of fucking skirting board. I don't know. I'll be doing stuff. I'll be going for like beachside walks and stuff, because I've bought a place to renovate. So I said I will lend a hand, and of course, it just happens to be non-farm payroll on Friday. So I'll probably keep tabs on it, but whether I trade it, it doesn't really matter. So rule number 1, you are no less of a trader if you sit out. That's rule number 1. You don't have to trade news. You don't have to trade non-farm payroll. There's enough time, and there's enough there's enough volume in the markets to not trade non-farm payroll. So keep that in mind. That's what you need to keep in mind. That if it's not for you, that's not a problem. It really isn't a problem. So what I will say is I'm going to go through my thoughts firstly on USD JPY, and then I think I'll give it to Rag to go through gold, because gold's more his pair than it is for me, for sure. I don't trade gold. Moves too quick. I prefer UJ because it's slow, and also the fact is that it's predictable. It's predictable. That's the reason I trade UJ, and the spread's low as fuck. So the spread's nothing on I see at the moment, always like 0.1. You know, low spread, keep more of your money, make more money, in my opinion. Obviously, you've got commissions and stuff, but I just prefer it, and I like how it moves, and it respects price action a lot, hell of a lot, especially zone to zone kind of work. So what I'll do is I'll just go through my thoughts briefly on how I'm going to approach this week for UJ with market open. I'm not 100% what Bloomberg is saying about the gap. I don't know how big the gap is going to be because I don't trade market opens. So I did say this to Rag. He said, "Are you down for a webinar?" I said, "Yeah, no problem." I don't trade the market open because it's not my bag. But yeah, I'm happy to go through my thoughts, and then, you know, my trading will probably be starting in the morning, be starting tomorrow, but that's not a problem. Okay, where's Rag? You know, he's connected. Okay, he's connected to audio. Perhaps he's. Here we go. Rag, can you hear me? Oh, hang on a minute. I've unmuted the wrong person. My bad. Okay, he is here, but he's just not talking. Right, so we're going to go through my thoughts on UJ basically first off. So we're going to keep things annotated as well, because A, I find it helpful, and B, you know, if people need subtitles, etc., because you know, we do have members here that do need subtitles, which is absolutely fine, you know. So I'm going to annotate and just talk as a type, because for me it helps just solidify things in my brain as well. So, you know, let's start things off. So rule number one, where are we in price? Okay, trading 101, market opens Sunday gap. Okay, right, so rule number one, where are we in price? So what has actually happened in the last week or so in price? You're looking at the 1 hour chart now. So the week began on, let me get my calendar. So the week began on the 25th. So we began on the 25th, which is maybe go on 4 hour. Might be easier. Okay, we began on the 25th, which is, fucking hell, we've moved nice this week. Okay, so we began here, 20. So this is the first candle. Okay. So last week, where did we actually go? We moved down a fair bit and then retested this key level up here of like 113,300. If you look to your left on a high time frame, on a daily, you can see basically why. Let me just draw a little box to show you why. Here you go. Shock horror, where's the price gone? Pretty much towards these wicks. Use the wicks as your guideline. Always look left for you take profits, etc. So you can see why we've marked that up. Let me move to the 1 hour because that's the time frame I work off the most. Okay, so you can see we've had an up and down week. Overall, we've pretty much closed where we started. Fair enough. There was a lot of liquidity last week. Happy days. Okay, so where are we in price? Currently, I don't know why that's not working. Currently in between zones. What's the rule in between zones? I don't trade. If it's in the middle, no clear bias direction. Do we have a clear bias really? Not really. I would say maybe you would say short-term trend is perhaps bearish, so maybe bias or direction, bearish, I suppose. I mean, I wouldn't call that a bias really. Long time frame says, you know, we're moving down. Where does probability tell me that we're going to go next? Probability tells me we're going to tap into this, just because. So probability tells me we'll probably tap this level of liquidity, level of price. Why do I think it's going to tap this level of price? We've tapped it twice before and rejected zone to zone. You guys know how I work by now. If you don't, I trade zone to zone quite often. That's pretty much, it's not the only trades I take, but they're my favoured kind of positions. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. So they're like my favoured positions. So you guys know, Z to Z, zone to zone. You guys know, especially if you follow me on Instagram, etc. You guys know about zone to zone. Let me pop the question box out as well. Okay, right. Let me just keep this question. Let me keep the question box so I can keep that popping. Attendees. Hang on a minute. Nearly ended the webinar by accident. My bad. Okay, so you guys know about zone to zone. You know, if you follow me on Instagram, you know it's my preferred kind of setups. Probability is high as fuck. So, you know, why would you not trade high probability? You never know. Okay, number two. So we've identified number one. Where are we in price? So what could happen this week? I'm gonna say where could we go? Take a logical outlook before we open, because market opens in like 2 minutes, I think, because it's 10 p.m. GMT plus 1, so I don't know what time that is for Eastern, etc. I think I would assume it's the afternoon. Okay. As you can see, shocking there, I've got zones drawn all over my chart. Okay, where could we go? So basically, rule number one, where are we at the moment? We're in between zones, so there is no real directional bias almost. You know, we've seen a couple of taps up here, a couple of taps there, and we're moving down, so technically trend is bearish on higher time frame and shorter time frame. I mean, longer burn, we've been moving up solidly from like 107, 800 or something like that, just off the top of my head. So let's be logical. Where could price go? So we've got this point here. Just extend that out. Why have I highlighted this point here? We've had a tap here, a tap here, a tap here. So we've had points in time where price has basically rejected this level. It's come to the level and rejected. So, so there's a level here, level here. We might revisit. If NFP news is bad, perhaps it could go back down there. If NFP news is good, however, this is, oh, hang on a minute. So if NFP news is good, oh, hang on a minute, we've just opened. Has there been a gap? Sorry about this, I know it's not organized. We've got a gap. The gap's not big, it's like 10 pips or something. Okay, right, that's cool, we're cool. Let me get back on. We've explained high time frame. Take a logical outlook. So draw price levels. Price levels. That makes sense. Makes sense. Use wicks as your guideline. You can use wicks for a lot of things. So make sure, you know, basically the market's giving you gems, man. It's price action literally is obvious. It just shows you where price should go. So you've got a level here. So if for negative NFP, okay. So NFP, we'll just do a little run over what NFP is. So it's stats for employment. Let me just explain this for anybody that doesn't understand economics. So economics, what I want. Large amount of unemployment. So what does large amount of unemployment mean? Well, it means that there's not a lot of jobs, so not a lot of people working, which in turn means what? People don't have money. People don't have money in their pockets, which in turn means what? There is no way for those people to invest into the economy. And you know, this can even be basic stuff like clothes shops, stores for the Americans. You know, buying into I don't know. But the point I'm trying to make is large amount of unemployment means not a lot of money to be spent, means negative impact on the currency's worth. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to say that I'm trying to put that all on the same page so you can read it. Large amount of unemployment means it's not a lot of money to be spent. You know, it's all a big cycle, and everything goes hand in hand. Do you get what I mean? So you don't need to make it any more complex than that. All you need to do is just keep things simple, and you know that even comes to the news. To be honest, keep the news simple as well. Don't buy into things too much. Let me just pop the question box out, see where we're going. Our chart looks identical to yours. Yep. But that's good. It's good that your chart looks similar to mine. Means you've drawn your zones properly. What's this question, sir? Wouldn't this count as a 1 hour support zone? Yeah, probably. If we don't break, yeah, market omen, yeah, okay. So, like I said earlier, hang on a minute, where's that gone? Okay, right, the question box has disappeared. What did I say about 10 minutes ago? Where is price probably going to go? Let me bring this over here, bring this down there so we can see what I'm talking about, because we want to have my notes at all times. So where did I say price was probably going to go? Bearish market structure. We've seen two taps of a big price level, big psychological level. Shock horror, the market opens up here, pushes down here because we've got bearish market structure. So we've got bearish structure. We are in between zones, and as you can see, likelihood tells us we'll retest that as a support on a 1 hour. I mean, it's almost obvious. I literally said it about 10 minutes ago, but it's almost just like it was an obvious move. Price is probably going to move down, probably tap this point here. It's moved, what, 15 pips or something in like 5 minutes of the open. No real surprise there. Let me just check. Okay, I think Rag's probably gone to sleep. That's one of them. But so yeah, also good shout here is that we respected the price levels from so from this first, like a point here. Look, this was pointed out by Sammy, who owns Forex Butchers and know he's online. Sammy, thank you for messaging me with that. Very valid. Pretty much prices come up here, tap this point of resistance. 1 hour resistance, what do? We take sells. 1 hour support, what do we do? Take buys. You know, you'll see Raquel preach it, you'll see me preach it, you'll see Ted preach it. You know, everybody talks the same language because we take the same trade, most of us do, because we know probability is high, etc., etc. You know, I don't need to go into support and resistance too much. Hopefully everyone's aware of what support and resistance does and how profitable it can be. Okay. Often, first Asian session of the week is bullish. I think it was a 70% chance. Okay, Raquel once turned around to me and said, okay, mostly first Asian session of the week is bullish, like a 70% chance. I don't know why. Perhaps he could come on at another time and explain that to people, or you could ask him if you're in his group privately. It's not something I know about because I don't trade, so I don't know why or care why, to be honest. I've got no idea. There's no structure for me, so for me, there is no structure to be trading on Sunday evenings. So obviously at the moment, you guys know it's like 10 p.m. for me. I've literally just finished watching X Factor to jump on this, and I'm about structure and I'm about routine, and I like the market to be set up. In my opinion, the market's not set up on Sunday evenings, so because my style of trading involves structure, but it involves obvious moves. Also involves, you know, it involves looking at the prior session or continuation of a move or reversal, exhaustion of a move. So everybody says, how do you trade market opens? And they're usually referring to London market opens. So I've got a session tomorrow with a student of mine. So my trading is logical and based on looking at past price to forecast, because essentially that's what we're doing, forecasting future moves, logic, always. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. You guys, you have to understand that really the market's not set up right now. You know, where should we probably go? We're probably going to tap this price down here. That's my first thought. So for Asian session, I would be surprised if structure didn't remain bearish, tap this level. And to be honest, you know, looking at structure, looking at the way the candles open for the first 10 minutes, it's probable. It's pretty probable. Okay, right now, let me go into the question box because I know I've got questions. Okay, beautiful charts. Thank you very much. Does China affect a pair like UJ? China has a bank holiday for the entire week. Please explain ADP. Australian bank holiday. Yep, good answer. More unemployment leads to less spending. These taking into account from investors won't invest into USD. Yep, that's pretty much what I said. You've probably explained it better than I did. Gap filled instantly. Yeah, the gap fills quick usually, and I think it's like a 80% chance the gap's going to fill, which is pretty sweet. But I don't trade it. When do you know when to enter a trade? What's your entry confirmation? Look at a small time frame. So good question actually. I'm going to go through that here. So how do I know how to enter trades? It's a good question. I'll come back to the rest of the question shortly. Okie dokie. So how do I know how to enter a trade? Number one, look where we are in price. In price. You keep seeing, I'm typing the same thing. I look where we are in price. Where are we right now? We're in between zones. So is it the right time to enter a trade? Am I looking to take entries in between two zones? Hell no. Because I don't understand where the price is going to go. Logic tells me we're going to go back down here. Do I want to take sells? No, because it's Sunday night. You know, I'm strict, so I'm strict in what I do. I have a plan, and I'll stick to it. Stick to the plan. My plan. So the plan tells me I won't trade Sunday night. So when Rag said to me, "Do you want to do this webinar?" I said, "Yeah, no problem. I'll talk to you. I'll give you my opinion. I'll tell you what I think could happen." But I mean, apart from that, I'm not going to be taking or executing any trades. I'm going to be going to bed as soon as I've sort of given my sort of consensus for what should happen for the week ahead. Like, you know, I go to bed at like 10 o'clock on a Sunday anyway, or 11 o'clock, because I get up early, and I might do a webinar for London Open tomorrow. You're going to see a lot of webinar content coming from me over the next, foreseeable, to be honest. I've got my arse into gear, and I've said I'm going to step up and do more webinars because I should, and technically I do have the time. I suppose I can execute trades and do webinars at the same time, so that's no biggie. So how do I look to enter trades? Get back to the question. So what confirms do I have? So zone to zone. So in my trading plan, I trade zone to zone, wick fills, EMA crosses, if at sup or res. What else do I trade? CWR. So also at Scotty Pippen. I'm going to give the boy some credit because the guy's a fucking genius. It's not a genius, but he's nailed down his trading. I've seen from his Insta in the last few weeks, his consistency has been really good. So, he joined the family at the same time as me, but I know he was new to trading when he joined. Obviously, I was trading before I was in the family, so I didn't exactly have to find my feet and find my niche. But this is his. Was his niche? His niche when we started. So his niche was CWR, which means cross. So let me draw different box because we're gonna. So CWR is cross, retest, wick fill. So essentially, it's using EMAs, using wick fills, and using basically where price pulls back to the EMAs on like a 5-minute or 15-minute time frame to take your entries. And the theory is so. A 5-minute retest, 5-min retest, fills 1 hour wicks. 15-min retest, fills 4 hour wicks. You got to remember, with retests, is for liquidity. So look at candle timing. I did a webinar and posted it on YouTube about candle timing. For 1 hour, 4 hour close. Maybe exceptions. So if it's a 1 hour close and then if it closes for 1 hour and then the next 1 hour is bullish for a little bit, say you're in a downtrend in this, for example, let me just get rid of some of this crap so I can move text down here for a little bit just so I can keep things nice and clean. Clean charts, clean brain is my general thoughts and just generally how I trade. That's why I've got nothing on my chart apart from what's it called? I can't even think. I've got moving averages and I've got zones, and that's literally all I've got. Okay, I'll move text like that. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick Snapchat as well while I'm on here, because obviously, as you guys know, I am grown on Insta quick, which is sweet. I expect to see everybody tomorrow on Instagram Live, 6 p.m. UK time. Let me sorry about this. Let me turn my screen brightness up as well. So as you guys know, Instagram Live tomorrow, 6 p.m. You know the deal, 6 p.m. UK time, 1 p.m. Eastern. See you all there. Bring some killer questions. Right, that's video saved. Right, I've got enough. Right, let me get back to the question. So yeah, so what confirms do I have? I'm looking for what's in my plan. So what's in my plan? So if I see any of the above, so those are the kind of trades I take. The trades I take are these. Are those? If I first off, if I don't see anything of that, I won't trade. If I don't see them. See the above. That, and I think that's key, and that's a key. This is key to fucking not rush or be wild. I think it's important for people to remember all these kind of trade setups. It happens so frequently that I could trade all day, every day if I wanted to. One of these things will be happening at some stage this evening for Asian session, be happening in London tomorrow, be happening in New York tomorrow, be happening in Asian tomorrow. The market moves moves in waves, moves quickly, and these kind of trades are frequent as anything. So, you know, how else do I take entries? How do I take entries? Use wicks just to show rejection, possible continuation move, sorry about the spelling, my bad, it's obviously quite late. How to take entries, use wicks to show rejection, possible continuation, wick fails, etc, etc. So for example being, we're at support, see 3 5-minute wicks, 3 times 5-minute wicks showing we are probably holding support. What do I think is going to happen? Yep, everyone that's saying buy support, you are absolutely correct. We buy at support when we see rejection. Maybe wait for a bullish candle as a confirm. Have a look at what the EMAs are doing. You guys know that Wakar is Mr. EMA, not me, so you know, don't pester him about it. But if you read his Instagram page, like I keep saying, when you're next on the toilet, go and look at his Instagram. Trust me, it'll probably be the longest shit you ever take, but it'll be the best one. Sorry, I was having a sip of tea there, just to keep myself awake. So go and look at Wakar's page, go and look at how he handles moving averages, etc. EMAs. When you're at support and the EMA is obviously far enough away, probably that's where your target could be to take like buys from support back to there. Depending if you're in an uptrend and you find support, then you might take buys to the next zone, so zone to zone. You guys know how it works. So hopefully that's answered that question. I've kind of gone off on a tangent, but I hope that's helped. Can we get access to AlexHillFX Google Drive? Unless you're a student of mine, no. Sorry, I can't. So I post quite a lot of my material on Ted's Drive, but so that's for my students, and obviously that's what they pay me. They pay me for my brain and time to work together every day, but also for my materials, because some of the materials aren't in Ted's Drive. What's your approach to trading start to end? I just joined the webinar, so I might have missed it. It's on screen now, so read the text. Thanks for the webinar. Got to go. Keep doing. Yeah, no problem. Can we get? Okay, you're asking the same question every time. You're UK based, so do you trade London session for? How long do you trade London session? How long do I trade London session for? Sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes an hour, sometimes 2 hours, sometimes longer. It literally depends on what happens. Really appreciate it, no problem. Can you look at AUD JPY? Yeah, all right. It's not my pair, but I can look at it from a logical standpoint of view. With no kind of bias. Okay. What I've learned from yourself, Alex, is let the trades come to you. I've got a habit of looking for trades where, trades come all day, thick and fast every day. Trust me, just let the setup come to you. Buy at support, sell at resistance, take EMA trades if you want, take zone to zone trades. I've done a webinar on it for an hour and a half on YouTube. It's also on Ted's Drive, etc. It's also on my drive if you're a student of mine. So go and watch that, and you'll see how easy it is to trade zone to zone. I've also wrote a document on it as well, in case you don't want to watch the webinar. In zone to zone trading, how do you know the zone will not break? Good question. Right, let me close this. Okay, so good question. So zone to zone trading, hold or break, hold or break. How do I know what will happen? One, I have zero idea. I don't know what will happen with zone to zone. I don't know whether the price will hold or whether the price will break the support. So it's like a sub res. price level almost. That's essentially what zones are in my eyes. I have no idea whether it'll break or hold. What I do know will trade based on what I can see. So like I said, with the 3 times 5 minute wick rejections. So how do you know the price is going to hold? Well, you want to work out overall bias and also momentum that we are in. So for example, if it's taken us 5 hours to go, no, maybe it's taken longer. Maybe it's taken 1 hour, for example, in this candle here. That was a news candle. So it took 1 hour to go from this zone up to this zone. Yeah, okay. I didn't think this was going to hold, to be honest. Looking left, you can see what it has. Tap there, tap there. But so the example here is that usually sub-res holds 80% chance of a rejection. Why do you guys think Rakil's so fucking damn accurate all the time? Because he knows there's an 8% chance of rejection if he trades support resistance. It's fucking basic stuff, but he makes money off it, as do I, as does pretty much everybody in the family. Even if you want to trade support resistance, you'll make money. So how do I know whether it will respect or whether it will break? I literally don't know. Subjective. So subjective. More taps, the weaker zone is, in my opinion. Just like support resistance, if it taps loads of times, it's going to break at some stage. So the best thing to do is stops should be just below, above, because if it takes your stop out, the chances are you're probably going to break, it's probably going to break the zone. So you're saving yourself a bit of heartache, aren't you? So yeah, good question. I think we'll probably just do Q&A, to be honest now. I've said where I think price is going to go, so let me just quickly recap that. Negative NFP, we're going here. Positive NFP, there. Okay, I don't know why that's doing that. Positive NFP, look left, here is a zone of price. Positive NAP, positive NFP, sorry about that, typos, my bad. Okay, so we're either going to go here or we're going to go here, maybe even higher, I don't know. Those are two potential ideas. Use a high time frame. We could even, it depends what happens, because price we could be here by Friday if we remain like bearish. That's only 140 pips. That could happen in the next 3 days, and then the price could fucking zoom down here because it moves a hell of a lot. 100 pips, sometimes quicker, sometimes more. So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of hearsay, of course, isn't there? So yeah, don't look into it too much. But like I keep saying, you don't have to trade non-farm payroll. It's up to you. You're not any less of a trader for not trading it. But that's my thoughts. Next question. How new are YouTube videos? I do a YouTube video every time I hit a certain amount of subscribers. So if I hit, I did one at 100, did one at 250, next one's at 400, next one will be at 600. As soon as it grows in more content, I'll put out, basically. Night shift mate will miss it. Sorry about that. It's got to be recorded, I would assume. What's your Insta, mate? I've got your link of webinar link of Ted at AlexHillFX. So okay, I don't know why that's doing that. Text box. So it's at AlexHillFX. That's my Instagram. If anyone wants to know. Of course, we'll see you at 6 p.m. Yeah, 6 p.m. tomorrow, Instagram Live. You guys know the deal. If you don't tune in, please do. Are you going to start posting in Rags Drive? Yep. Sorry for the repeat question. Yeah, no problem. Please analyze gold. Yeah, okay. I'll do gold next. Right. Gold, XAU, USD. It's not my pair, I don't trade it, but I can tell you what I think. So where are we now? This is going to be good actually because I haven't got any zones of price marked up. So let's jump on 4 hour. You know how I do. I think this was for the last NFP. Looking at where I've marked up. Last NFP, I didn't trade either. Why was that? It was my birthday. You guys know the deal. Don't trade on your birthday. Oh, wow. Shock, shock, shock. We're tapping a major point of support, major point of price level. Goodness me. Use a Wix as your guide. This is a little bit too big, but you know, you get where I'm going with it. Pretty much there. We've tapped into this little pool of liquidity for gold. So where do I think gold is going to go? We've got a 4 hour there. But where can we go here? So this, you got to remember, gold is in obviously dollars per ounce. So what do I think? Another typo. Do I think of gold this week? One, I don't trade gold, but here is what I think. You got to remember. So let me just fucking fuck off. Get rid of that as well. So it's counter correlated with USD. If anyone doesn't know that, you're welcome. Thank me later, buy me a beer at another time. Just have a sip of tea. Man, it's hot in this house. Where was I? Okay, so we're counter correlated, so we know that if USD moves up, gold moves down. Why are that? So why? Safe haven. So it's a safe haven. So if the world is going to shit, people buy into commodities and assets. White in 12 per ounce. Dollars per ounce, which is not a lot, man. I'm not a jeweler, but I know that's not a lot. I know an ounce isn't a lot of weight. I don't, don't measure my shit, but I already know that's not a lot. So USD moves up, gold moves down. So we know it's counter correlated. So if NFP is good for USD, we should see 1260 maybe. Just eyeballing, looking back a little bit. I mean, there's nothing really. If it breaks this support, so this is like a key level of price support maybe. So let's think about that, and then that also we can link back to USD JPY. Is that if we're counter correlated, and this is a key level of price or support, if it breaks this support, yeah, 1260 maybe. But what will UJ do? UJ has to move up, retest bottom 4, so positive NFP. So you can see I'm starting to piece things together a little bit and say, okay, well, this is logical because if this happens, this could happen. So it's all about be a logical guy. think about it like that. So if we break this support, where are we going to go? We've had three taps into a major price level. Ted said a pool of liquidity. He said that on a webinar once and it's all stuck in my head. Okay, let me just. So what do I think is going to happen? So okay, so negative NFP, go here, maybe down to here. So if it breaks, we'll go in here. So if it breaks this support, look. If it breaks support, we'll go in there. If it holds support, I don't know, maybe we might retest. Prices probably might need a bit of liquidity to keep moving down. So maybe start with a retest because UJ aligns to zone 1 hour I talked about earlier. So maybe we start the week with a retest, maybe start week with a retest. That's what's logical. Looking at the higher time frame, 4 hour, you've got rode it down so hard. Market moves in waves. So market moves in waves. So what does that mean? Means we ain't just going to move down. So need liquidity, and pullbacks to facilitate moves. Okay, so we know that you're going to see some great illustrations here. Hope you enjoy. So if the price is moving down, for example, and then I did a webinar on this as well, but obviously you guys may not have watched it. So what's this? Let me draw here. What is this? Lows and highs, waves. Price moves down, price pulls back, price moves further down. Liquidity grabs are normal. We move in low lows, low highs, high lows, high highs, HH, HL, LL, LH. You see that all plastered over people's charts. So what do I think with gold? Yeah, I think we'll pull back to this region before we facilitate another move. So perhaps go up here and then perhaps push through here, pretty much like I've drawn here. That's my consensus for gold, but that would mean that UJ would have to move up. Does anyone have any questions about what I've just said? Let me go on the question box again. Okay. How to find that YouTube on webinar? Search AlexHillFX. I trade zone to zone as well, works very well. Do you also wait for price rejection to reject the zone before entry? Yes. Yes, I do. Good question. Can I suppose that we will break the 4-hour support resistance only after a strong catalyst like important news? Yeah, good question. News is a catalyst. We need momentum to break zones. I'll try it more probable before London Open or during. On the open and during. So we know that price has to move at the same time every single day. We know that price has to move at 8 AM, 1 PM, 2:30 PM, 1 AM. Those are the opens of sessions. So we know that price is usually going to move at that point in time. How do you know if it's an exhaustion week or it's a momentum week that will be filled? Subjective. If price is in momentum, in strong momentum, and it's basically like a pullback for liquidity, then chances are it's going to get filled. Nice one, Brummy lad. Yeah, I am from Sutton Coldfield. I'm not obviously going to tell you exactly where in case you're weird and stalk me, but yeah, I'm from Brum. You might see me around town. I'm going to start doing a few more local meetups as well. That's my objective for the new year. Do a massive UK trading meet. I've got a venue in mind as well, and it will be free, so keep that in mind. It will be in Brum though. It will be in Brum. Do all pairs respect 1 and 4 hour resistance? Yep. Predicted 114 a few days ago. Yep. It's probable because gold could potentially push down, UJ push up. Do more taps make a zone stronger or weaker? Weaker, in my opinion. Does price have to enter a zone alongside with 3-5 rejection wicks for you to enter a trade? No, it doesn't have to go into the zone exactly. If it basically, 1 second, I just need to read my messages. Okay, sorry, I was just reading my messages. Where was I in questions? Does price have to enter a zone along with free? This is a good question. This is a really good question. Intelligent questions is what I live off. I love when people ask me questions and it sparks discussion and it sparks like interaction between me and you, and it sparks like innovation. It sparks, you know, I get passionate because I want to talk about like the craft, don't I? So does price have to enter a zone? It doesn't have to. But like you can see here, let me give you the example. Let me move the question box over here, down there. You know, we've tapped price here. So obviously gold's not open at the moment. I think it opens an hour after. Don't quote me on that because I don't trade it. But so we've tapped here. So if we look on small time frame, this is a perfect example. Look on small time frame. We've pretty much tapped, massive rejection. Did it have to go exactly into the zone? Okay, well, you want to wait for it to reject. So yes, I suppose so. But you can see big rejection. So big rejection from zones. Look smaller. So look at the smaller time frame. Let me move the question box back down. Move the arrows. Big rejection. So we've got a big rejection here. So this wick shows rejection. What happens when wicks are formed? Usually momentum they get filled. We know this from Rakil at Wicks Don't Lie. You guys obviously know him. Let's zoom in a little bit. What can you see happen? This was like the 15 minutes, the 2 candles before market closed on Friday. So can you trust it? Maybe. Will we fill this wick when we open? Maybe. I don't know. But that's an interesting thing. Let me just check on USD JPY. Okay, let me look at small time frame now. Big tap into the zone. Price pushes down. Price is respecting the EMA up there. Probably going to push back down. You guys know what I think. I think we're going here for Asian Open. Let me get the question box back up. Good question that was. So does price have to enter a zone? It doesn't have to, but good question. FTR, yeah, that's Akshan's, I don't know whether I pronounced his name right, but that's his bag. What time price moves? Yes, I can write that down. So price moves at the same time each day. This has basically gone from a market open webinar to like a Q&A, but that's cool. So we know it's, these are all GMT plus, okay, why is it not typing? GMT plus 1 UK time. Okay, Alex on. The 8 AM London Open, 13 PM NY Open, 14:30 Open, and 1 AM Asian Open. Okay, so if we know price has got to move at the same time every day, the market's just giving us a gift to say, you know, here's some volume, take me, trade me, because, you know, this can never change. These times can't ever change because it's how the Forex market's been based on for years and years and years. So it's not just going to, you know, close down. It's not going to just say, okay, I'm going to open 2 hours later today because I feel like it. That can't ever happen. So keep that in mind. Let me just have a drink of tea. Typical Englishman, always drinking tea, always eating crumpets. Everybody always says that, actually. So yeah, market has to move at these times every day because so market opens, give us volume, give us volume, orders, price moves. Simple as that. It's literally like a chain and like a cycle. Price moves. Market opens, sorry, gives us volume, gives us orders, people are trading, banks are trading, people are trading, price moves accordingly. So yeah, good question. Same area, yeah, okay, well, if you're from the same area as me, sweet, perhaps you'll bump into me in a pub somewhere. You can buy me, and if you do, you can buy me a drink, or I'll maybe buy you a drink. Depends how pissed I am and if I've had a good week. You've been part of the. How long have you been part of the Forex family? Since June, but I was trading for 2 years before, and I literally joined to be part of the community because I saw what they were doing, and I thought, okay, well, this is a sweet place to be. Like everyone's got the same goal as me, and Forex is about goals. And I knew it would probably level me up in ways as well because it was access to some pretty sweet traders, some consistent traders. I was consistent in swings, but it's pretty much leveled me up scalping as well. So I'm definitely grateful for that. But yeah, so I've been part of the Forex fam for like 4 months, maybe June to October. And, you know, I kind of wish it was around when I started trading like 2.5 years ago, because if it was, I'd have been part of the first batch and it would have curbed a lot of the mistakes and stuff that I made at the start. Probably would tap the 112250 level and push gold up. Yeah, maybe. Would you go over a setup or trade you take on this chart? I wouldn't take any trades because we're in the middle of a zone, sorry. Only difference is BST and GMT. Okay. Okay, so I'm going out on Saturday, so that's obviously my message. I don't know why that comes up on my Mac, but yeah, so I'm going out on Saturday night to Abby's birthday. Only difference is BST and GMT. I think there's PST as well, which is Pacific time. Bro, why don't you share your analysis before you take a trade, your trades, or immediately after you do? It would be really helpful for unsuccessful traders. Okay, well that sort of sounds like signals and stuff like that. I don't really do that. I don't really send ideas over. I literally just trade and execute my trade and then help my group after. What is the candle timer script called? I don't know. I see you in the station. Yeah, I don't actually drink in there often. When I do, though, I'll holler at you and we'll meet for a beer because it's literally 10 minutes from my house. 10 or half an hour, you know, I'm not going to tell you exactly how long, but give myself away a little bit there. But so, next question. Would you say there's a trading opportunity all day? Yeah, you could trade all day if you had to, if you wanted to. It's up to you. Do you prefer scalping over swings now? Yeah, I suppose, because like it's quicker and you can make the same money but just quicker. Do you continue to swing? Yeah, zone to zone for swing trading is sweet. Charging 1 beer for 1 signal? Yeah, that's the going rate, I suppose. I'd be happy with that. I create a beer for 12 signals or whatever. Have you got any more questions? Because I've gone through all the question list now. If you haven't, maybe we'll shut things off here because it's not my trading session and it's quite late. So if you've got questions, you just ask. Well, man, so we can trade all day. Yeah, you can if you want. I wouldn't encourage it. Webinar for London Open. No, sorry, I can't. I've got a student session for London Open. So I'm doing a 1 hour session with a student of mine from 7:30 to 8:30. So to basically show him my process to trade London Open. How do you know if it's exhaustion or momentum to be filled? You don't. It's subjective. So momentum basically means several candles, and exhaustion is just like a big push in price, a big wick. So I forgot XAU USD. How do you know that there's a big exhaustion wick? You don't, but this. So it's a tap. So it's a tap into a price level. It's not exhaustion, but it's a tap. Into a major level. So it's it's not exhaustion, but it's essentially like a rejection. Exhaustion, but rejection. They're two different things. So this is the best example I can give you just from highlighting it. Questions. Awesome webinar. Thank you very much. No worries. Yeah, no problem. I'll hold you to that point. Yep. No problem. How do you know when a trade becomes invalid and it's time to close? When market structure changes. So market structure basically means if you're not making highs and lows or lows and highs, depends what kind of trade you're in and involved in. But that's how you know to potentially close early when market structure changes. So hopefully you guys found the webinar helpful. I hope that you did. If you don't follow me already, at AlexHillFX, so let me just give myself a little shout out because I can. So IG live tomorrow, 6 p.m, 1 p.m. Eastern. 6 p.m. UK, 1 p.m. Eastern. I'll catch you all there. There was a lot of viewers last week. Hopefully we get the same amount next week, this week, sorry, and the week after, etc., etc. Yeah, that is all I can. That is literally all I can say. Catch you on Instagram live tomorrow, 6 p.m. You know the deal. Bring questions, make them intelligent. You've got my attention, undivided attention for an hour. So yeah, hopefully the webinar was helpful. Catch you guys tomorrow, bright and early for London.